Hey folks, it's Pat here. Welcome back to the Midland. Time to run train number 4. This is our coal mine train. Got to get this in before we get a big update coming here next week or so. And I figured got a little free time tonight. Let's go ahead and get to it. So we're going to take number 5, our trusty C70 here, along with 3 hoppers and 10 beam cars up to the coal mine. And so here we go. Let's stretch these out here real quick. Just because this train's been sitting here for a day or two. Let's make sure all our cars come with. Who's moving? Looks like she's moving. Alright. Let's see if we're all lined out here. Probably should have checked that first. But I already did my yard work for the day. Got the engine hustled on over there. That one's lined. And all of those are lined. Here we go. We're good to go. But we are going to run pretty tight schedule today, because this will probably prove to be the longest train in terms of time on my pike. So you see down below, that's our schedule. We're going to depart out of Anna here in just a sec. And then head on down to Best. That's the smelter. We got to pick up a couple rail cars down there, and then haul that along with all our customers here up to the coal mine on our new run. Now I have run a partial train up there with Betsy, just to kind of prime the pump, so to speak. But this is the first time I'll have run the full-blown train here as part of the schedule. And so, if you're... Oh, let's check the fire here real quick. I think we should be good. Let's just make sure. Nope, we need a couple more sticks on the fire there. Here we go. And like always, we'll do this one from the cab here. Even though I do kind of like the new feature where even if you hit the F key and run from the third-person view and then hop back in, or hop out of it, then it doesn't change the settings in the locomotive. That's really nice. So that was a nice quality of life change. And so hats off to the devs for doing that one. But today, I'm going to keep it traditional here. We're going to run this from the cab. Enjoy some of the scenery on this pretty new route. So the coal mine route here is the most recent track that I've laid, although I've redone some of the trackage down at the smelter. And so I'll kind of point out what I did when we get down there, and kind of walk you through my thinking on that one. And some of that was done in anticipation of the update that is coming up, which is going to be a physics change. And I am looking forward to it. So apparently we're going to change a lot of the car weights, which will be good because I think they'll be a little bit more realistic. So had a couple opportunities to run some real monster trains lately that are just getting a little grotesque. In fact, I might do a video of one of those before the update changes. Well, my understanding is that they're going to throw it into beta first. And so if they do that, I might try and run a Whopper up to the coal mine. A Whopper is 2 trains glued together. And so that would be close to 50 cars. I think I can do it. I've gotten it up to, I think 36 now as my max, which is pretty beefy for a narrow gauge mountain railroad. So that's a pretty impressive train. So, but it'll be nice if they're introducing new car weights, things will be a little bit more realistic. C70 here, the DRG, this guy, this is a beast of a locomotive. It can haul a lot of cars. Probably not as much as the... well, I don't know. I'd have to go look at the actual stats they put out. But probably just as much as the geared locomotives. Well, maybe not quite as much as them, but enough where it's getting a little grotesque, so to speak. So, but we're coming into the smelter here. It should be a pretty quick run. Overall, I think this run's going to take well over an hour. So you won't offend me if you speed up the video and just want to watch the scenery roll by. That's absolutely fine. But I know some of you like kind of the longer stuff with some of the commentary, and so I'm gonna hook you guys up today. So we'll tell some railroading stories, point some things out, things like that. Here's some of the changes that I've made to the smelter. So I've got a engine shed down here and a fuel facility because I'm going to keep a switcher down here permanently. I haven't decided if I'm going to exile Betsy down here or number 2, which is our tier 2 porter. Although right now I'm thinking about exiling number 2 down here because Betsy just makes for an absolutely amazing switch engine. And I've been using her to run trains real quick back and forth between the yard and the lumber mill lately, which has been the bulk of my efforts. So I did buy 2 full sets of these cars, so that was quite a bit of money. And now I'm saving up for another engine. Because the other reason why I built engine facility down here at Bess is to possibly have a helper stationed down here, which would help steel trains up and over this grade here and help this train up the grade on the other side. This is some of the stuff that I've redone. I replaced this bridge here with an iron viaduct. Same thing with this one here. Smoothed out this entire grade all the way down, so it's only 1.5% grade now. So we're just drifting here with no brake right now, and that seems to be working pretty well. So, in fact, we might actually have to give it just a touch of juice here. There we go. Perfect. So, but that's the plan for today. Hopefully we can get out of Bess pretty quick. And if we can do that and make it up to the coal mine, I'd say within 45-50 minutes, I'll be pretty happy. So I also redid this track here, straightened some of the curves out. I bowed this curve out and this trestle out quite a bit more, just to kind of hug the terrain a little bit better, and also give ourselves a little bit more of a gentle curve, because in anticipation of the new update, I think the steel cars are going to be kind of a pain to haul out of the smelter here. So hats off to the devs for putting the smelter at the lowest point on the pike. So it'll prove to be a little bit of a challenge. So hopefully not too much here. So I built the Midland here so far to pretty much standard gauge standards, with some exceptions. But I think that'll pay dividends once that update drops. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll make for a more challenging and interesting experience. Not to say that the current physics are bad. They're great. So this is one of the best train games I've played in terms of how the physics interact and how the train just handles like it should. So it looks like we're lined in here. We're going to go into the pass track here and pick up a couple rail cars off this cut right here. So let's let them know we're coming. We're passing a platform. Got to give the boys bell and whistle like usual. And so we're going to stop short, or maybe just a touch past the switch up here, and use the hoppers on the head end as a handle to grab these 3 rail cars here on the end. So let's go ahead and tamp it down here just a little bit. I've been doing a lot of mine train runs lately, iron mine trains, so the smelter is stocked at the moment. It's not full, but it's full enough. Let's see, so we want to, let's go ahead and stop right about. Oh, hey, look at that, just like I knew what I was doing. Nice gentle stop. No stress. There we go. So I'm going to go over here, tie on a brake right here, pull a pin, this one right here, and pull ahead of the switch. Go grab a couple of these rail cars here. I think in the future the rail cars will be some of the heaviest ones out there. Either the rail cars or the loaded iron hoppers. Those, well, I don't know. I don't know if they're actually calculating load weights just quite yet, or if they're going to be different. Meaning that a load of coal would weigh different than a load of ore, which would be prototypical. So, or trains are insanely heavy. So, rail trains are insanely heavy too. And so, we'll see. I would think that a carload of rails would weigh a lot more than a carload of beams here. Let's see. I'm just checking to see if we got a pin down here. We do not. So, perfect. Go ahead and back in here. And that switch is lined for my movement out, so that's good. Back. Back. Easy back. Slowly. Not that slowly. There we go. Perfect. And we're just going to use this these three hoppers here as a handle to grab the next three down there. So pretty straightforward move here. Kind of designed this run so that most of the moves are pretty simple. So they're all head-end moves. So we don't have any facing point moves on the entire trip, which is good. Okay, that should work. Want to do this nice and gentle here. Not piss off the guys in the car shop. Boys are bashing my cars around. Pinned. 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 Let's pull that pin. Give me a break here. Let's go grab throttle here. Regulator, sorry. The stick. Alright, here we go. Brakes off. Pulling ahead 6. We coming with? We got separation? We got separation. That's another nice thing that I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you noticed, but the fact that the sun is low on the horizon here means that you get shadows. So you can kind of see. That's very nice. And prototypical. Alright, that's probably good. Probably got enough momentum to carry us past the switch. And we'll go grab it and back on in. And off we go. Ooh. Let's see. We passed the points? Yeah, we're good. So I should change the switch so the switch stand is on this side. Now that I think about it, we'll put a work order in for that. So most of the Midland is built now, so we've probably only got a couple more build videos left in the pipeline here. Because once we get on down to the iron works, the steel mill, come on. Then it's a short jump over to the oil field, and then on the other side over to the refinery. So means we probably only have about 3 more build videos left, and so I'd say the railroad right now is probably about. Do I have a brake on here? Bet you I got a brake on here. I bet you one of these jerks has a brake on. In fact, I know one of them does. So. Oh, that's okay. We'll get it on the way back. We'll just power through it. We won't tell the car shop about the flat spots on this lead flat car here. I have no idea how they got there. Not my problem. At least not yet. Maybe someday they'll introduce car maintenance in here and make this game like truly painful. Let's see. Wait for the slack to bunch in here. Actually, we should be good. Set the brake. Oh, take that off. Looks good. Let's see. Got a brake on here? I guarantee you I do. Yep, sure do. Got a brake there. How about you? 2 brakes. Oh, god dang it. I deserve that. Alright. That's okay. Maybe we can make it out of here in the next 2 minutes. We'll see. So let's see. that off. Give me just a little bit. Give me a little nudge. There we go. Easy peasy. Kick this brake off. Did I set 1 or 2? I set 1. Fair enough. Okay, back to the head end. Getting our cardio in here this morning. Or this afternoon, I suppose. Alright. Forward. And off we go. Everybody coming with? They're moving. Caboose moving. Caboose is moving. Off we go. A minute to win it. Gotta get past the west switch, which is up there. Cannot see it. I hope it is lined for my movement. Should be. Mine train was the last one to come through here, and it comes down this and drops off all those steel cars over there. Yes, it looks like it's lined for my movement. We're good to go. It's highball out of here. So we got about a 2% grade ahead of us. 2.5, a little bit less in some spots. All the way up to the iron mine cutoff switch, which is up by the waterfall. So this should be pretty quick here. But let's go ahead. Park that. 15 minutes. Not bad. Not bad at all. And looks like we've got an entire train. Here we go. So now this part of the railroad here, I am a little bit concerned about, because this is a heavy train that will be pulling up this this piece here. And like I said, I'm worried about the rail cars in the future. So they might be considerably heavier than you think. So where I live, sometimes you actually see the rail trains come out of the steel mill in Pueblo. That's where all the rail comes from, at least most of it in the United States. And they have these, I can't remember if it's a mile long or a half mile long sections of ribbon rail that they load on these racks that are parts of a constant train. And those trains are heavy, like crazy heavy. So, like I said, I'm a little worried about the rail cars in the future, but we'll see. Because rail is extremely heavy. So on my territory, we had a 133-pound CWR, continuous welded rail, ribbon rail, double track main with absolutely gorgeous ballast. And it was expensive. Very, very expensive. In fact, some of the guys in the yard that I worked at, we had a section gang. Very cool people. Very, very cool people. When I left the railroad, they cut me a couple bookends made out of 133-pound rail. So they double as weapons. So, yeah, you gotta be careful what shelf you put those on. So, but oh yeah, those guys are cool. So in this game here, it's a one-man show, so I get to be my own section gang too. We actually had a section gang, and then we had what else did we have? There was a curve gang that was stationed pretty close to us, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Had a little bit of a grade here on this bridge. I might actually have to relay this bridge too, because I think there's a janky piece of it right there that's actually more than 2% grade. So yeah, we're picking up a little bit more speed here. But yeah, if you need a job on a railroad, being part of a section gang is not a bad thing. The most choice job that I ever saw somebody have was not train crew, was not dispatcher, was not even section gang. The most choice job that I ever saw someone have was actually signalman. So we had a signalman. I think we had 2 of them in our territory. And those guys had cakes. It was great. See them like once a month. And I was like, oh, how you been? Where you been? I was watching football. Waiting by the phone. So, that's not true. Actually, they're pretty busy. You just never see them. So, because they get to be pretty independent. So, unlike everybody else, including train masters. Especially train masters. That's okay. We got a switch up here. Let's make sure it's lined for our movement. It is. I left the switch open. I violated the superintendent's bulletin last time when I came back down here. We might talk to the superintendent, get him to cancel that bulletin, because I was going to leave it lined for the iron mine train. But quite honestly, it's kind of hard to stop while the ass end of your train is still on a grade right there. And so I don't really want to slow down and close that switch. So I think we'll just have slow orders on both approaches here. Because it's easier to stop when your train is facing downhill and get it started again than when it's facing uphill and you stop. But you guys all know that. So anyway, this is a fresh rail here. If you watch the build video, we didn't have the beautiful snow during the last couple videos, and so I love it. I think this canyon is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm happy with the track here. Now this looks a little janky and snaky here. I might straighten it out at some point in time, but I just did this in order to maintain the grade all the way up, and quite honestly, coming downhill, this puts a little bit of drag on your train, so it's not a huge deal. Uphill is a little bit of a problem. So, but so far, it looks pretty good. I think it's all 2%. I don't even think I had to go 2.5 here. So if I decide the curves piss me off at some point in time, we'll come in here and straighten it out. But for right now, I'm pretty happy with it. So, and like I said, this is the last chunk of the rail that I laid, and so there's some really, you get better at it the more you do it. And some of the track here is pretty smooth. Not all of it, but most of it. So, and I try to make as many straight sections as I can on this one, and that's what Class 1 railroads do. So whenever they find a place where they can make it straight, they sure do. So, especially if you're running really heavy trains. The territory that I worked in, we had some insanely heavy trains. So, 140 car coal trains were, what were they? They were close to 30,000 ton, if I'm not mistaken. So, it took like 2.5 miles to stop. And that was speed restricted at 50. So, empty they could run at 60 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. But that's that expensive rail that my company put in the ground there. Even the signaling system, we were full CTC, central traffic control, all the way through. And upper management would consistently remind us that the CTC system alone cost $1 million a mile. So, I don't know why they kept telling us that. So it's not like we were breaking it. Upper management in a railroad is a weird thing, I gotta tell you what. So, you get up around superintendent level, there's something that you either go kind of screwy or you get real salty. It just seems to happen. I guess the closer to the corporate HQ you get, the more you start thinking like a Wall Street banker. Let's see. This is a cool trestle here. I really like this. This whole scene right here is just absolutely stunning. That's one of the better things about railroading, is you get to see vistas like this that nobody else gets to see. There's no highways in some of the areas, no houses, no buildings, nothing in a lot of territory in the United States, especially in the West. So, which is where I spent almost all of my time out in the west. I think the furthest east I ever made it was Proviso, which is in Chicago. Unfortunately, I didn't have to stay there very long. That was a scary place to work. And not just because of the trains and the yard. So that was a really busy yard. It wasn't the busiest yard that I've been to, but it was an interesting place. Yeah. And then there were some other places that were kind of interesting too, that I'm glad I didn't have to spend too much time in. I spent quite a bit of time down in Houston during the summer of all times. I was glad when I didn't have to stay. No offense to anybody from that area. It's a beautiful area, but my blood's a little thick for that place. I take territory like this over that. So this is all straight and flat, or I mean not flat, or not straight, but flat. Yes, flat, not straight. Well, mostly straight. So, but this part here we can just kind of run, and so far we are making absolutely killer time at 75% throttle here. And so far so good on our train. So I bet you we could handle twice as much train on this piece of rail right here. I don't know if we could make it up that sneaky S-curve part though. That'd be kind of interesting. You have to see. So, but I am getting a kick out of this game. I know a lot of you are too. So this was turned into my new train set. I know many of you probably dabble in the model trains. I've been known to do so myself. And this is my most recent layout. I was actually getting ready to start a new one. Got kind of a crazy idea. It needs to bake for a little while longer, but I'm sure some of you are modeling out there. If so, let me know. So what's your gauge? What's your era? What are you good at? I'm pretty good at scenery, although I hate trees, so that's why I like this game so much. I would never ever make this many trees. Ever. I hate making them. So, and I've made a lot. So, but and those are the only things that really carry over from layout to layout. It's like, yeah, well, the track is screwed when I trash this one, but make sure you pluck all the trees off there. Here, you just kind of paint them on. It's great. Alright, this is a little bit of downgrade right here. So let's just ease off on the throttle just a little bit. I think it's only 1% down, which is fine. Caboose, yep, still good. It's called a sidewinder. Always check the rear of your train, so when you get a chance, just to make sure everybody's still there. And this here is level. All the way over until the valley where this creek here curves all the way around. And then we're going to go upgrade a little bit. Let's go ahead and actually pour on some speed here, because I think we can do a little bit better than this, actually. In terms of time, close to the 30-minute mark, which is ideal. So far so good, knock on wood. And look at that, that's pretty. It's pretty. I love this map. This is a great map, even though there's a part where this river runs uphill. I know I'm not the first person to notice that, but when I was scoping out the route for the coal mine here, I was looking out, I was like, huh, interesting. But I love the map. There's a lot of really cool pieces to it. I am looking forward to more maps, though, in the future. Especially if they open up the workshop eventually, and you could import height maps and actually start to model some actual railroads out there. I've got so many that would be fun to do. Not just the actual Midlands, although that is probably a little big as far as a map goes, but you could definitely do the terminal. You could do the Georgetown Loop. That'd be fantastic. Probably do a little bit one end or the other of the either the Toltec train or the Silverton. Maybe, I don't know. Just depends on how big of a map you can have. in the future. But I also look forward to seeing what other people put out too. So I'm always up for a challenge. It's kind of fun to actually try and run around and figure out the best way to put up your track. Like this valley here, I tried 4 or 5 times to run all the way around that way in front of that waterfall, but I could just not do it with grades and curves that I was happy with. And so I wound up building this dike here and just crossing this valley and jumping over here to where the devs kind of left a grade for us. That's a little bit, we're going to need a little bit more gas here. Not losing pressure, are we? Nope. But probably getting a little chilly down here. Oh no, not too bad. Not bad at all. I think we're going to be good. All the way up to the top. There's a really cool valley right over here. This grade that they laid out for you kind of goes up here, but I kicked out onto the canyon wall here just a little bit just to maintain 2%, which I thought was acceptable. Ooh, that curve looks a little sharp. Oof. Thought I had them at 18 degrees. That one looks a little gnarly there. I'm gonna have to put in a work order for that. Let's take a look at it. Actually, it's not too bad. Doesn't look too bad. We'll see what it looks like coming back. So, alright. The rest of this is pretty gentle in terms of curves. So there's just one kind of gradual one over there in the corner that I think is, well, I know it's at 18 degrees, but I think the rest of these are pretty shallow. Or not as sharp, let's put it that way. But you have like a blunt curve? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. So, try to put as much tangent track in here as I could. Tangent is straight track. And another major track tip for you is avoid as many S-curves as you possibly can. So always put at least a car length or 2 in between your curves when you are changing directions. So, especially with the new update, that wrong key. So didn't mean to do that. I wanted to do this. Take a look at my caboose, if I can see it. I probably can't see it here. Maybe up here. Oh no, damn trees are in the way. That's all right. So we don't need to murder all the trees next to the track. Just most of them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to new maps. I'm looking forward to finishing up this railroad here. And then once I get it all done, I'll go ahead and post it up there on the minis word again. The link doesn't work anymore for me because I guess I need to sign into my Steam account. Or something. I tried doing that just the other night. I gotta go look at it again. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm not sure. But once I do that, I'll post this all up in there and you guys can play with it as much as you like. So, but it's almost done. So probably, track-wise, probably just 3 more videos. And we'll be in good shape. And all those are fairly flat. And so they won't take near as long to do as this one. This was definitely the longest build in terms of time out of all of them so far. And then we'll go and do one more final kind of like tour at that point in time. And fix any little issues that I see here and there. Because there are a couple here and there. So, but sometimes when I'm just running, especially coal train or mine trains, there's been a few spots where I just kind of iron it out just a little bit and try to make the track just a little bit more workable and a little bit more forgiving in terms of train handling. And so far that's paid off pretty good. And this looks great. This looks absolutely great right here. There's a track down there. We've climbed pretty far in just a couple minutes. So we're at 32 minutes so far. So that's excellent. So we'll run up to the mine here. I laid all of this here basically on the grade that they carved out of these hills for you, with the exception of one bridge, which is right here. I wasn't happy with the curve around this bend here, so I actually had to kick it out a little bit. So you get this little bridge right here, which is fine. It's a drainage ditch. In another life, it'd be a culvert. So, alright, we're coming up on the mine here. There she is, right there. So let's let the boys know we're coming. And let's peel off some speed here. There's a switch up here that might not be lined for my movement. It is not lined for my movement. So we need to tone this down. Not too much, because I don't want to stall on the hill there. So faster than running speed is all we need. There we go. Alright. Coming on in. Let's open just a little bit. Oh, yeah. Oh, our Crummy's coming with. And we will unload the... well, we'll load up on the little bit of coal that I have here. And then... yeah, I didn't have too much here. And then drop everything off and we'll see. Hopefully we don't get any spillage. So, this is a long run. Let's see, that'll do. Alright, well, I'm not going to bore you with the loading and unloading, so we'll go ahead and speed this up here real quick, and I'll see you in just a sec. Well, that sucked. So, something's up with my platform here. Either it's too close, or you have to offload it on this one and not that one, but I wasted a whole bunch of rail there. And so we're probably only going to get 10 or 11 coal out of this entire trip. So, lame, but that's okay. Live and learn. So, let's keep schedule at least. That's the mine's problem, not my engineer's problem. So, here we go. So, pretty good. 45 minutes to depart the coal mine. So that's, I didn't think we'd get here till 45 minutes, and so far that's pretty awesome. But did not go off without a hitch. So that's okay. Like I said, live and learn. So I might have to bring Betsy up here again with a couple rail cars just to test it out. Maybe my track is too close or something. But it took some, but not the others, so it's probably just the way that I was offloading them. But that's okay. Little spillage is exactly what I wanted to avoid, but there are much more catastrophic things that could happen over the course of this run. So a little bit of lost revenue, no big deal. I got plenty of money. Not quite enough to buy all the cars that I need for the Southern Division, so, which honestly isn't that many. So, because I'm just going to need a few for all the just a couple boxcars and just a couple tankers. And then more stake beds, of course. I've already got a few spare bulkheads. And then just a couple pipe cars. And I haven't quite figured out exactly what I'm going to do down there. I'll sit down and kind of map it out a little bit and think about that, and then walk you through it when I do the build videos for those. So, because it's good to think about what kind of trains you're going to run before you actually build your track, and then you'll have an idea of kind of like what size of trains you need to handle, what kind of curves you need to, what kind of standards you need to stick to, things like that. And so, and also like when you're planning out yards or industry trackage in particular, if you think about how you're going to do all your moves and stuff before you actually put the track in, it's much easier. Or at least you don't have to spend quite as much time redoing things. Like, I think I redid my... Well, this is the second version of this railroad that I've done. The first one I did totally off camera. But that one, I think I redid my log camp like 3 or 4 times before I realized that, oh, well, just keep it really simple. All you need is a balloon track, because this is a one-man railroad. And you see up here at the coal mine, I did the same thing, just a balloon track. Which are absolutely prototypical. So, just about every coal plant in the United States has a balloon track going around it, unless it's really old, or if it's in the middle of a town somewhere. So, but if it's like a coal plant out in the middle of nowhere, it's got a balloon track. I've actually been to a couple of coal plants where they have the rotary dump. Never actually got to see it in operation. So, but they all have balloon tracks, or at least the ones that I went to had balloon tracks. They just run the whole train through, and they'd rotary dump. Some of them did like 3 cars at once, and some of them don't do like 2 or 1, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't see it actually happen. So I have been to a coal mine up in Wyoming. Black Thunder, big coal mine up there. There's 2 humongous ones up there. Well, there's like 6. There's 2 really big ones up there in Powder River Basin, where you have the coal silo, the loading silo. That's a pretty impressive operation. So they just slow roll trains through at like 3 miles an hour. And this big chute that drops deep into those rotary dump cars, and then dumps the coal, and it just fills up like a loaf. It rises up like a loaf of bread. It's really cool to see. So it is, yes, it's as dirty as you think it is. So, but they are kind of cool to see. Back east, I know that they have a couple places where they do rotary dumps into barges and things like that. I've never seen one. This curve does look steep, a little sharp right there. So this is a little bit of a pucker moment here. So, but I've never seen a dockside loading operation. I hear they're pretty impressive though. Who's coming with? Are you back there, buddy? Yep, I see you. Other cool things that I've seen on the railroad. Hump yards. Hump yards are really cool. In fact, there's a guy here who has been playing this game on the YouTubes. I probably should have looked that up before I started talking about him. I can't remember what his name is now, but he was a conductor for Union Pacific, and I guarantee that guy's legit. So he knows what he's talking about. And he built a hump yard in this game, and that was it was a cool video. You should go check it out if you haven't seen it. So, because if you've actually, like, hump operations are really interesting. They're not as common as they used to be. So, I mean, they still do it, of course, but with precision train scheduling, they try to eliminate a lot of the mid-trip switching like that, and that's what hump yards do. But they're really neat operations. So very dangerous operations. You do not go into the hump bowl ever, unless they know you are there. So it's an exceptionally dangerous place to be. So derailments in those humps all the time. So like most of your derailments occur in the yard. So, especially hump yards. That was a long time ago. Hopefully they've gotten safer. I don't know. They've been around for a long time, so I don't really know exactly how they'd make them much safer. So the one that I worked in for a little bit was all the switch crew, the hump crews would all be RCO crews, and I was RCO qualified. And RCO is remote control operations. That's where you work a switch job and you don't have an engineer, so you just have a conductor and a brakie on that one. Sometimes just a conductor. Well, I don't know. So when I worked there, it was always at least a 2-man crew. Usually a 3-man crew on any switch job. But with RCO, you get this box. I was trained on, what was it, the blue box, which is the, oh geez. It might be the GE one. I can't remember. It was a long time ago, like I said. So I'm sure they're much more sophisticated. You probably do it with a cell phone now. But then you get trained on that, and you basically run your own switch job as a conductor. So, and of course the railroad was doing that as a cost savings measure, because they're always looking for ways to reduce the number of train crew out there, because of course the Wall Street types don't have enough money. So you got to pay out that dividend every quarter, so, or reinvest it so that you inflate the stock price every single quarter, no matter how much the railroad makes. So, and of course there's BNSF, or FNBS, the Warren Buffett's private train set. So, which actually when I worked for the railroad, I think that was still a public company. So I think that was actually after I left. Or at least they were thinking about it, I can't remember. But Class 1 railroads just mint money. That's all they do. And so they're constantly looking for ways to cut costs here and there. So superintendent call you up and say, "You're paying too much overtime, Pat. You got too many yard vans, Pat. So, you bought too many paper clips, Pat. You're giving out too much safety swag, Pat." So, I was like, "Yes, boss. I'll be a good boy." So, but they were always trying to go to 2-man or a single-man crews on road trips. I don't know if they'll ever actually be able to do that. So, I mean, the technology is certainly there, and they've threatened to do it many times. So, but I think they might have given up on that a little bit with precision train scheduling, which is way after my time, and I am so glad I don't work for the railroad anymore, because I hear it's a disaster. So if you know anything about that, let me know down there in the comments. So that's a little, like I said, that's after my time. But the folks that I keep in touch with hate it. So, yeah. But that's okay. Let's see, what else? Yeah, there's some other guys you should check out on YouTube. If you're interested and you want to learn a little bit more about railroading, one-for-one, railroading, prototype, whatever you want to call it. So I've got a couple links to a couple guys that I like to keep tabs on. I'll see if I can find that conductor. I'll stick his channel in there too, because it's pretty good. He doesn't just do train games though, but when he talks about train stuff, he's on top of it. And then there's another guy that I've been following for a while named DJ, who's a modeler, and I know I have a link to his channel down below. And but he is a CSXT engineer and has been for decades. That guy knows his stuff. So I love watching his videos where he talks about working for the railroad, getting hired out on the railroad, running trains, how yards work, all that stuff. He totally knows his stuff top to bottom. And when I watch his videos, I sit there and I just kind of nod along. It's like, yep. So, and he's really friendly too, so which is kind of cool. Oh, he's also a drone pilot, and so he does a good job of actually like flying his little drone over yards and explaining, okay, so this is a switch lead and this is a ladder and all these things. It's a really cool channel. You should check it out, especially if you're a modeler. So He does some good stuff on there. It's not common to find, well, it's not rare. Yeah, it's a little bit rare to find people who work for the railroad who are modelers. Now, they do exist. But a lot of people who work for the railroad, especially if they've done it long enough, they learn to despise trains. Or they secretly love them, but then to your face they'll tell you that they hate trains. And people who love trains, they hate them too. So, I think I talked about that in another video. So, but he's an exception to that rule, and so his channel is really cool. And then I got a couple hobo channels on there too. Now, full disclaimer on that, I enjoy those channels. I think they're awesome. So there's two of them there, Hobo Stobe, Obi-Wan Kenobi, who unfortunately is no longer with us. He was the first one that I found, and I love his channel. He's got the most beautiful videos. Not just about trains, but also kind of almost like modern philosophy kind of stuff. But he's fun to watch. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. Got killed by Scamtrack. So, and then the other one is Hobo Shoestring, who can also tell you about the dangers of riding freight rails. So don't do it, alright? It's more dangerous than you think. So I get it. So it's kind of cool. You get to see a lot of things. There is a freedom aspect to it, but 90% of the people who ride the rails are not hobos. They're not bows. They're transients. So, which is fine. You know, just trying to get somewhere, start a new life. Totally understand. Take Greyhound. Okay, so it's much better for your health. Much, much better for your health. So I ran into my fair share of people who were down on their luck, wanted to try their luck on the rails, and I got to tell you something. Don't do it. Okay? Not good for you. All right? But you do you. All right? Consider yourself warned. I'm not going to tell you some of those stories. Those are not for you. So, but if you want to see the United States from rail, Scamtrack is always there for you. Or, you know what? They're all hiring right now. So, all the roads, they're out there hiring. I used to do hiring, lots of hiring back in the days. And so, if you need any tips on that, no problem. So, it used to be that you had to kill somebody in order, so like being a mason, you had to save the life of a railroader in order to get a job there. Or something. Not anymore. So, back when I was hiring, we'd have 300-400 people show up for 2 spots. No problem. Every single time. And that was a long time ago. Times are different now. So you want to ride trains, go work for the railroad. So you can get a job. So trick is just go where they need trainmen. So that's it. That's it. So you might find yourself living somewhere that you never thought you'd be. But they might let you run trains there. So be prepared. Lots of hours. So lots of work. Lots of money. So great bennies. But you will not be home very often. Some guys, they get used to that and they kind of like it. Some of them a little bit too much. So other guys, they sign on thinking they can get their way, they can work their way out of that eventually. And I got to tell you something. In the yard where I worked, we had 24/7 switch crew. 3-man crew. Conductor and the engineer were both on a pool, so we had a switch pool. Brakey was always pulled off the extra board. And day shift, switchman had 30-some years on the railroad. Night shift switchman was his brother, who was 2 years younger than him, and unfortunately hired out about 2 months after he did, and he was never going to see that day shift. Unless he killed his brother. Because they were number 1 and number 2 on the seniority roster on the conductor pool. And so that's how it goes, guys. So railroading and the unions, they have their own rules. And if you recognize that, and you decide that you're cool with that, it's a great job. Excellent job. So, in many respects, respectable job. But there were a lot of guys that I hired, and then they got to the point in time where they were like, well, you know, I haven't been home for a football game in a long time. Or, oh, you know, my daughter's getting married. Or, well, we let people mark out for that. So, but, you know, like, you know, if you want a 9-to-5 regular schedule kind of job, don't work for the railroad. So, I learned that one myself the hard way. And I wasn't even train crew. So, let alone actually doing something else. Decide that you want to be a dispatcher? Okay. There's like 2 places where you can live. So, on the entire railroad. But you'll sleep in your own bed every night. Great. Alright. You want to be maintenance away? Sure. You'll sleep in your bed every night, unless they call you. So, you want to be a signalman? So, they give you your own truck. You can be very independent, but you got to have the skill set in order to be able to do that. Same thing with diesel shop. Actually, that's a great way to get on the railroad. Go to community college, get a certificate in diesel. They'll snap you up in a heartbeat. Let's see, coming in here. So, got a little bit of work to do, but not too much. Let's see, all my switches should be lined. And we are making stellar time here. Let's see. Oh, I want to leave the caboose east or west of this switch right here. Just so that we can back a new train onto it. So we're going to cut all of our empties off here and then pick up all these loaded iron cars over here. So, which shouldn't take too terribly long, provided that we don't have to replace too many pins, which I cannot make too many promises about, because they've been sitting here for a couple days. So I am not optimistic about that, but let's go take a look. Maybe we'll get lucky. Come on. Keep ringing. That switch is lined, so we just need to pull up. I can see the switch stand barely right there. So that's probably good. Let's not push our luck here, shall we? Wrong one. There we go. Alright, let's go back there, pull that pin. Let's check our pins here. That one's pinned. Pinned. Not pinned. Okay. I thought for... Oh, not pinned. Pinned. Okay, so let's tie this brake here. And let's tie this brake here. We're going to have to stretch these out just a little bit. Hopefully the rest of these are pinned. Otherwise, that's going to take a few minutes to do. Let's see. Good, good, good. Alright. Let's, well, we'll tie the... No. Let's tie this brake on. Okay, it's already tied on, just for safety's sake. If I knock those cars, I don't want those guys rolling all the way down here into the caboose. That would be bad form. So... Alright, let's pull this pin. Here. This one. Tie you down. Okay. I'm going to use the caboose as a post to back these other cars into, which is technically bad form, but that's okay. We're going to do it anyway. Not supposed to knuckle a train into a caboose. You're supposed to tack the caboose onto the train. That's so you don't knock over the conductor's coffee pot. Alright, here we go. Let's pull ahead. That switch should be lined. Yep. So we're going to pull pretty far ahead here. Oh, actually, you know what? We can probably do this on the fly. We can just drop these cars. Let's do that. So it gets past the switch. That'll do. So to drop the car, you just pull pin, add brake, and we're good. Ooh, we haven't done a flying switch yet, or a flying drop, or a Dutch drop, whatever you want to call it. So we might have to find an excuse to do that before we finish up with the Midland here. God dang it, I can't say. Why do I keep falling off the platform here? Arg! Getting a little butterfingers here. Okay, that's close enough. Alright. So let's close this switch. Should have our pin and our link there. Let's just ease her on back to these other cars here. Back. Off we go. Slowly. Easy does it. Oh, this is a downgrade here, so I actually don't need any throttle. Just coast. And we're gonna have to do this a couple times here. Let's kill off all our momentum except for just a scotch. Should be good. Ooh, a little hard. A little hard. That brake is set. Let's go ahead and stretch them out. Alright. Forward. Man, something's going on here. Am I not centered here? Oh, I wasn't centered. No wonder. So, I had my T key hit there. That should be good. Go put a link and a pin in here. That car is tied down. Back. Back. Yeah, good enough. It'll be alright. Yep. Oh, did these guys come apart here? Oh, look at that. We're gonna get lucky. 1, 2. Alright. Oh, I think that's everybody. All the way back to the caboose. Oh. Stop. Oh, I had to make a decision there. Either run for the engine or run for the switch. Hopefully I made the right one. That's part of being train crew. You gotta make snap decisions sometimes, and once you commit, you commit. So looks like we made it. So yeah, because that switch there is not lined, and so we would have put this car here on the ground. No problem. That's okay. We need a link here anyway. So let's go ahead and line this switch. Yep, good. Do not have a link. We do have a link here. Man, I'm glad I checked that. Otherwise, we would have butted knuckles there. Or links, I guess. So it'll be interesting when we get knuckle couplers in this game. We should be able to get them. Not that all cars were equipped with knuckle couplers very quickly. Link and pin were around for a long time. Even after the knuckle coupler was fairly prevalent. First place you'd probably see it is on passenger equipment. So, which I have seen that they posted up a new thing in the Discord the other day, which is a roadmap for the passenger equipment they want to make in this game, and I cannot wait. So, for that, at least just the first couple, be great. That should be good. Let's go ahead and bleed that off. We might have a brake set. Do we? Yeah, we got a brake set somewhere. Shoot, let's just go ahead and set this down to about... Can you give us enough? No. A bit more. Come on, kick off that brake. Scritch that car. Maybe we're already in? No, no way. Nah, we got a brake set somewhere. Screw it. Come on. There we go. That'll do. Work. Let's go find that brake. Where are you? Well, we'll find it on the way back. There it is. Oh, we got two of them, no wonder. Let's go ahead and kick that one off. We'll just get the other one on the way back. More brakes over here? Nope. 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 I yell at the conductor here, man. Grab your coffee cup. Because we're coming in hot. We had 3 brakes set on, no wonder. So, smash! Just absolutely knocked over his coffee. That's okay. He'll live. Where's that one with the brake? I should have counted how many cars it was deep. I think it was only 2 deep on the steel cars here. That's okay. Oh, no, it's 3 deep. There we go. Alright, stop. Running on a conveyor belt here. Slightly bad form, but that's okay. I want to make sure we get out of here pretty quick. Let's see. We didn't break nothing, did we? Nope. Alright. Off we go. Still technically in a yard, so keep it down to 10 miles an hour. Restricted speed. Restricted speed is the speed at which you can travel that allows you to stop within half the range of your vision. So if you can see 10 miles, you got to be able to stop within 5. That would be pretty fast. If you can see around the corner and it's 200 yards away, then you have to be able to stop within 100 yards. So slow. Or actually, no, there's a further restriction. It's like half the range of your vision or no more than like 15 miles an hour. I think that was the rule. So who knows? They might have modified it. So since my day. Well, let's see. Everybody's coming with. All right, as soon as we pass the east switch right here, we'll depart. And it looks like we're doing pretty good, despite a couple little problems there. Because I didn't check the stupid handbrakes. So just trying to rush. And that's when you get hurt, and that's when you make mistakes on the railroad, is when you try and rush. So I should know better. But a $1.11, $1.12 is still really good. I'm very happy with that. So let's go ahead and depart. Let's open this up. So once the head end is passed, well, technically restricted speed, or speed restriction, wait till the tail end of your train, the S end of your train, passes the restriction. Definitely true for slow orders, yellow boards. Yellow board's like a stop, or no, well, there's 2 of them. Red, yellow, kill a fella. Lemon line, drop a dime. So you got 2 different boards that basically serve as temporary speed restrictions. Or you can have posted speed restrictions, you can have permanent speed restrictions, all kinds of different stuff. You can talk about rules for days. I don't want to, though. Unless you're curious. If you have any questions, drop them down there in the comments. I'll go bust out the old rule book and the timetable. I know I got my rule book around here somewhere. I don't know about the timetable. Might still have one of those. Like, yeah, I know I do somewhere. I don't think I will find that. So, at least not the last one. So, but that's okay. No, I was not an engineer, so don't listen to me when it comes to how to run trains. Go listen to other guys on YouTube. Much better. In fact, there's another guy I gotta point you to. He plays Run 8. I think he's a. If I'm not mistaken, he's an engineer with Norfolk Southern. I don't remember, but I was watching him run trains, and I was like, "Oh, yep, you know what you're doing." Like I said, I wasn't an engineer, but I definitely did my share of ride-alongs. So, usually not invited. So, that's okay. They couldn't tell me no. Alright, coming around Horseshoe Trestle here. This does look cool. I do like it. I'm glad I came down here and redid some of the track work down here. So, this is much more gentle, because before, and you might have seen it, well, maybe not with the Winter Tour train, but maybe with the Iron Train. because this was a little bit of a climb here. We're definitely losing some momentum. Speaking of which, gotta check the fire. Look at the water. We haven't even used a quarter of our water. That's great. Yep. Good thinking. That should get us home. Right there. But yeah, this part here was getting a little steep, and that's because I think there was a little grade section of grade on that bridge that showed 2% when I laid it down, but then when I looked at it at Minisorg, it was like 4. I was like, well, where the hell is that? And then the more that I ran trains over it, the more I realized the Minisorg site was probably right. I was wrong about that. And so we went down there, tore it all out, and relayed it. And so far it seems pretty good. So, but this whole switchback system right here, up to about here, this part here is 2%. Down there it's 1.5. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think it'll work really well. But again, that depends on the update. Well, here we go. We're coming in to the last stretch here. Last little canyon. Actually, let's put a little bit more regulator on there because this part is a little steep and curvy. And then we'll run up here. Last little bit of railroad before we make it back to Anna. Which is all flat. Well, mostly flat. So, flat enough. Where it's not flat, it's definitely straight. So, good enough for government work. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see some of the other equipment that's coming down the pipe. I know that there's probably more rolling stock coming our way. I'm just tickled pink with the caboose. It's absolutely fantastic to have a little bobber caboose like that. And then some more engines down the road. Looking forward to some of those. Can't wait to get my hands on a 10-wheeler. So that might be a little ways down the road, but for some reason I just thought the 10-wheeler was always one of the prettier locomotive sets that you could get out there. At least the ones that I've seen. There's only a couple of them left out there. Well, especially in narrow gauge. I think there's one down on the Cumbres, or the Toltec train, if I'm not mistaken. And I think there's one at the Golden Museum near Denver. Actually, if you're in the Denver area, you should go check that out at some point in time. It's a very, very cool little spot. You don't really have much of a run there, but they do run trains around their little chunk of track up there. Actually, if you're in the Denver area, you should check out Georgetown Loop, too. It's not too far. I don't think it runs during the winter, though. I'm not mistaken. Maybe it does. I don't know. I haven't done that one in a long time. So I did the Silverton train not too long ago. And I hadn't done that one probably in 20 years. So, Toltec train, I haven't done that one in a long time either. So maybe I'll go do that one this summer. We'll see. I'm in Colorado, so that's a little bit easier for me to do. I don't know much about tourist trains and stuff like that outside of the state. I've been on a couple here and there, like down in Arizona. Get the Canyon train. Want to go do that one sometime. And then there's a couple more here and there. Coming in. Oh, I guess we didn't need the bell already. Let's see, we're not going to go into the track that we left out of. But we're going to go into our rival track, so we need to bleed off a little bit of speed here so I can run up there and grab the switch. Flip the switch. Let's see. Yep. We want to go into our arrival track. So this is main 1 right here. Main 2, which also serves as our arrival track and as our switch lead, so we can double up usage on tracks. Do so. Actually, this is also the branch line that goes up to the lumber mill, so we actually have triple use on that track, so to speak. Alright, now we are aligned. Points are good. All the way into our arrival track here. I'll do this one nice and slow. But we made this entire trip at $1.19. So let's see, give it another minute or two. Gotta clear the caboose. Caboose has got to clear that switch. down there, and we can go ahead and arrive our train here at Anna. Tie up, go to Beans. Speaking of which, I'm about to go to Beans. It's time. So it's taco night, man. Let's go do this. Let the hostlers take the engine back into the barn. Oh, that'd be rude. We do our own hostling work before we talk. That'd be rude. So, all right, that should be about good. Kick that off for a little bit of break. Yeah, we're good. A little bit more break. Come to a nice, gentle, slow roll stop here. There we go. All right. Done. Dunzo, dunzo. All right, so let's arrive the train. 1:20:05. I think we can feel safely confident to call that 1:20. So, actually, I didn't show this to you in the beginning. I got my orders right here. So let's go ahead and fill out the order sheet. And so this will go into the timetable. So depart Anna. We did that within the first minute. So we're going to need a couple minutes to actually do our hostling work. So let's do this one at 5. Then we're just going to add 5 minutes to everything else because this was about as good as run as I could hope for. So best 14:52. We're going to call that one 20 even. And then depart the coal mine 43. Let's give ourselves just a minute or two there. 50. Although I bet you that's probably, you know what? I bet you we can do it at 45. We can make up that time. 45. All right, so yeah, we can make up that time at the smelter, and if we get out of here a little bit early, I mean it's only a 2-minute difference, so we'll be okay. Depart best 1:11, so that's what 71 minutes. Let's shoot for 75 on that, shall we? 75. Just give us an extra minute or two, just in case there are more broken links in the future. Terminate here at 1:20. An hour and 20 minutes, or an hour and 20 minutes is 80 even. Let's do 85. So we're just going to bake in an extra 5 minutes there for an idyllic or a golden run, as we should say. Now, it wasn't completely a golden run because we totally jacked up the offloading, but again, that's the mine's problem and the people in customer service, not our problem. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the trip tonight. We had a little bit longer video than usual, but you know, got a chance to swap some stories and share some good times with you and hopefully show you a few things that maybe you can do for your railroad. Hope you enjoyed the entire length of the trip. If you made it this far, thank you for being here. All right, that's all I got for you this time. We'll be back with, well, eventually we're going to have to run this train here now down to the ironworks. And so the next video you'll probably see, unless I decide to get adventurous on something else, will be the ironworks build. So hope to see you there. Take care now and have a good night. Bye.